welcome everybody to another episode of Inside the Circle. We've been joined by another very special guest today from clubs that you may know from Wallace High School, Lisnagarvey Hockey Club, Rotterdam in the Netherlands, Leuven and Gantrois in Belgium. International caps is over 140 and goals is 23 plus. International achievements has been silver medals in the Nations Cup, a gold medal in the Euro Championships too, several appearances in that as well, and in the 2018 World Cup he was out there in India. He also captained Ireland's first involvement in the Pro League this year and has been winners for Lisnagarvey in the league and the trophy, and also a league winner for Gantrois, and plus a Master's degree from Queen's University in Belfast. Please welcome everybody, Mr. Sean Murray.
Thanks for having me. I don't think I've ever been introduced like that before. I'm blushing. I am blushing.
Good,
Thanks,
good. That's absolutely working. I do try and
I wasn't
embarrass
expecting that.
everybody that's come on. Yeah, well, you've made it this far. You're out in Belgium. You're living the dream of so many hockey players. So we absolutely have to give you as much props as possible.
Yeah. I think when you put it like that, it sounds quite fancy. I think, as I said, literally just before we started here, like still living every day as it comes. Enjoying training out here in Belgium at the moment. But yeah, that was a nice intro.
Good. So how are you? You were saying earlier this Wednesday's your day off from sort of training and full on bits and pieces like that.
Yeah, so normally at the moment, yeah, over in Belgium, we're well underway in the league. So yeah, our typical week would just be Monday would be yeah, gym, no hockey, Tuesday training, and then today was Wednesday, just gym, and then Thursday training, Friday double training, and then rest Saturday and play matches Sunday.
Okay, so you play all your matches on a Sunday then.
Yeah, yeah.
The only story, like Sean, you're a couple of years older than me, from school, and the only time we've ever played against each other was a horrible cold, probably November, early December McCullough Cup match. It was a mighty clash of Banbridge second 11 against Wallace first 11, and my only claim to fame that I can pull from that in a horrendous heavy defeat was that I saved one of your drag flicks that you were attempting from the top of the day.
Yeah, back in the day, I was a big time school flicker. No, I was more of a drag scoop
Yeah,
than a drag flick back then, definitely. And now the body can't take that. Just trap the
absolutely.
ball.
What got you into hockey in the first place then?
Yeah, well, take me back. I think I was one of those kids that played every sport in primary
Mhm.
school. And then when hockey came in, it was like my older brother. He started Wallace. He's a three or 4 years school years ahead of me. Started Wallace. Started hockey. Turns out my dad had played before for years. And then yeah, he started coaching my brother Stephen at Lisnagarvey. And yeah, then I started playing there and fell in love with it. My sister, also 1 year older than me, also played. And then from then on, it was yeah, playing out in the back garden, going to Lisnagarvey, and then we were lucky enough to play a little bit in primary school once they realised a few of us played hockey. Had a little primary school team, which was fun, playing on the gravel. And then yeah, the rest is history.
Absolutely. And then what was it like playing at a club, Lisnagarvey as a club? You've grown up there, your dad's played there, he's coached there, your whole family have played there at certain points. Is that is that something that's then kept you going playing, we've had that great time as a family at the club?
Yeah, I think so. I think I probably took it for granted how nice the facilities are at Garvey. From being young, it was the norm for me at the start.
Mm.
Yeah, but definitely, I think every day, every Saturday, when my dad would start playing matches, and my older brother would start playing matches with the senior teams. I was out there, just hitting around with mates. So I'd spend every Saturday all day there. I think the older people in the club can probably remember at half time, you have 10 minutes and me and my mates would all run out for the 5, 10 minutes you had, try and hit the crossbar, score some shots, show off everyone watching, and then get back off and wait for the next half or end of the game.
Absolutely. And you played through all the teams. So you went juniors and then through the teams. Then, like you said, we got a league winner and a trophy winner for Garvey. And what was that like then playing at home in those bigger games?
Yeah, I think I had a really nice career with Garvey, even to be honest, throughout the youth as well.
Mm,
I was really lucky, really fortunate that we had a fantastic age group. We had, you know, I think in the representative teams at under 16s and 18s, we had nearly 10 guys. We
fair
were
enough.
undefeated for 3 years at underage, and then it went into the seniors, and a lot of the guys I was playing with my best mates, which made it really easy and really fun. And then broke into the first team with a couple of other guys into you know a team that was already you know top team in the country. The likes of Timmy Cochran was there, Stevie Arbuthnot, who's now assistant coach, Johnny
Mm,
Bell, Paul Gleghorn joined. Guys like that who could learn from, and Daniel Boozer, those guys.
yeah,
It was it's crazy to think of now. But we had an amazing team, and I was just a youngster, so it made me improve and grow within that. And we were lucky enough to get a bit of success and winning a couple of trophies.
absolutely. And then what what led the decision then going over? So Rotterdam was your first European team that you went over to play for. What First off, how did that come about? What was the introduction to that?
Yeah, it was a bit of a whirlwind. I think I knew I always wanted to go away and play
Mhm.
professionally if I could. Now, how you do that, that was the big $1 million question. And then I think I went to study in Queens first, and I knew I wanted to get a degree, and then after that, I'll go and play abroad if I can. And I was in Malaysia at Aslan Shah tournament.
Mhm.
I had previously an offer from another club to go somewhere, but I hadn't really entertained it too much yet. And then the assistant coach during the tournament pulled me aside one morning at breakfast and said, "Look, Rotterdam are looking for a midfielder. If you want to go, it'll be quick. They're not going to contact you while you're here at Aslan Shah, but when you get back, they're going to call you. Be prepared if you want to do it. And it'll be done and dusted in a couple of weeks probably. So have a think of what you want." And I was thinking, is there pen and paper now?
Yeah.
So I remember getting back from that Aslan Shah tournament. Um, and then, within a few days, got a call from a guy, Rob Goverts, who was managing the top hockey at Rotterdam. The next week, I flew out to Rotterdam for a couple of days. It was just before the EHL. They were hosting the EHL.
Mhm.
So I said to him, do I need to bring my stick? What is it, a trial? He was like, no, don't be silly. It's okay. We've seen you on video and stuff like that. Also, if you brought your stick, you'd be nervous. So it's not a true reflection. So I just come over. They flew me out for 2 days. The guy Rob took me around Rotterdam, the city. I met a couple of players like Hertzberger,
Mm.
one of the New Zealand players at the time, New Zealand captain Blair Tarrant. I sat down and
Yes.
had dinner with him one of the evenings, which was nice just to kind of. I had no idea. It was first time going away. What did I want to talk about in my contract? Things to ask for, things to that aren't so necessary. And then the next day at lunch with the guy Rob, we sat down and put out the contract in front of me. And was like, this is this is the contract. Have a look at it. You don't need to sign it now, but yeah, we want to have you, which was pretty cool. And then within a couple more weeks, I was signed and ready to go.
Unbelievable. That is a quick turnaround from
Yeah.
the getting asked out there and everything coming true. What's the difference like in the styles of hockey then being out there and maybe being at home? Is there are they more an attacking style out in Rotterdam opposed to maybe Garvey, or is it just slight differences like that?
Yeah, I think what stands out for me first and foremost is probably just the average level of players.
Mm.
They have so many people playing, and all their young players are it doesn't matter if you hit a ball waist high at them, they'll trap it, kind of thing. So you have
Fair
the
enough.
average level is already so high, and then you also have the superstars there, like Hertzberger. You saw in the EHL recently there, he
I
banged in, and
scored a wonder goal.
yeah, exactly, banged in a few more guys like that. Thijs van Dam, who's now captain in that side. Chap Hoedemakers, who was young then, but these guys are Olympic gold medalists now.
Mm.
And then Hiddebrink, who's or Hidder Turkster, sorry, who was went to the Olympics with Holland before as a defender. You had those kind of superstars as well as the average level being so good, and we
Mm.
just trained more. We only train at Garvey Tuesday, Thursday, and play matches on a Saturday. But then when you go and play there, it was train Tuesday, twice on a Thursday, Friday, and then play Sundays. So you're just training extra. You're in more of a professional environment.
Fair enough. And then obviously slightly nicer city to walk around opposed to walking around Hillsborough and Lisburn as well.
A Royal Hillsborough.
Yeah, sorry, that's true. Forgive me.
And Lisburn, the city of life. Yeah, yeah, I know. I think that was also a big thing. I knew I wanted to go away and just I studied at home. I lived at home for the first year of my studies. I was lucky enough to live out with friends in the last couple of years, but I knew I wanted to live abroad. I think just for the personal experience and life experience to go and move somewhere. And Rotterdam's a cool city. It's really
Yeah.
cool. We lived in an amazing place with other foreign guys also who were on the same boat. Playing hockey professionally. It made for a really fun environment. Yeah, balance that fun with the professionalism of playing.
Mm.
It was really really cool experience.
Absolutely. And you mentioned about that first time needing to bring your stick. Leads quite nicely onto you obviously play with Adidas gear. And what led you to go on to Adidas right at the very start?
Yeah, it's probably quite funny, but uh, definitely seeing other players play with him when I was young. I think I
Hmm.
knew who all the top players was, what stick they used. I was one of those kids. I hate to say it now, but I think it was at school. And Ian Sloan had
Mm.
he had the TX24 back in the day.
Right.
I think it
Yes.
was the TX24, and he was a star player in school. And he was a few years above me in my brother's year actually. Um, and I remember seeing him with that, and then the guy in the year above me, Wallace, got it. So I tried it out a bit and thought, Adidas was becoming like the cool hockey brand. Um,
Mm.
and then yeah, I think I moved from Dita to Adidas from at 15. So bought I think my parents
Yes.
bought me one of the Compo threes. Um,
Hmm.
and then the following year, I think I was 16. I was just broke into the under 21 setup and was lucky enough to get sponsored. I remember yeah, it was a fun day when we were all in the under 21 camp and we just finished training and everyone had applied for the sponsorship and we were all sitting in the changing room at Garvey and the email came through to see which guys got sponsored and what you got and things like that. And yeah, I think I was 16. I think it was a big life moment for me to receive free
Absolutely.
gear. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I think a nice moment for my parents as well, not having to fork out um, for me. But yeah, so I've been using it since I was 16, and now I'm 27. So yeah, good 11 years.
Fair few years
Yeah,
then.
and at the
Absolutely.
moment using the Estro Chromaskin one
Okay. The point
point
one.
one. Yeah.
Okay. And what? Because speaking to a few other players, is there a specific setup? I'll call it a setup. Is there a specific way that you like your stick? We had Jake Wetton on there, and he gets a really, really light stick and then grips it up massively. So it's a really thick, heavy grip, which then balances the whole stick out. Is there something like that you do?
Yeah, I used to play with a really light stick, but
Hmm.
then yeah, now I play. I think I always request the right measurements. I think it's 540. I play with 540 grams and
Okay.
a balance of 39 centimeters. I think it is.
Okay.
Um, and I take off the original grip. Don't know if Adidas want me to say that, but take off the original grip and
Ah, you're fine.
I put on two shamrocks. and that's so
Okay,
it's still
cool.
quite thin. I don't like a really thick grip. I hate those people that have the massive thick grips, can't get my hands around them. Um, and yeah, so two grips, not too thick, not too thin. Yeah,
Okay, cool. And then shoes. You obviously play with the Adidas shoes. Which ones are you using?
yeah, the Lux. Yeah, so
Okay.
I've used those as well for the last few seasons, which was nice.
Okay. And so the Astro stick, is that sort of mid to low bow? Is that something that you just prefer as a midfielder that allows you to do a bit of everything?
Yeah, I think I've been using that bow shape for the last few years. I think I started off with the
Hmm.
TX24, which is more that I think the Chaos Fury bow. It was like the really low bow.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I started off with that. I loved it. Played with it for a couple of years, and then I think how shallow I am. 1 year, still young at this stage, and the the color schemes came out for the new for the new season, and I think it was the
yes.
V24, which is the similar shape to what I have now. It was a cooler
Aye.
color, and I thought, well, I think also again, people like Florian Fuchs were using that stick,
Hmm.
and it probably made an impression on me that it was cool. It was the cool color at the time. Um, so I changed, and I'm still using that bow shape, and I feel like I'm playing well enough with it, so no need to change now. Now I don't need to change for the color.
Absolutely. That's the best part. Um, so obviously then is there more of a difference playing in Belgium than playing in the Netherlands? Is it same sort of playing level? Is it slightly different again compared to at home?
Yeah, I think Belgium's different than Holland, definitely.
Hmm.
Different styles. I feel like it's much more structured in Belgium, like with the presses, and the Dutch is end to end, lots of flair. But yeah, different styles, levels very similar, I think, within the top teams. And then yeah, I think the big difference between the Dutch league and the Belgian league is the Dutch league is just so direct. Belgian league is much more structured.
Right.
And then yeah, and now I haven't played since I was 18 or 20, sorry, at home at Garvey. So yeah, I can't even remember.
Oh, that's
uh,
shocking. Don't let them hear that. And then with being over in Europe, does that make it difficult to then come and train with the likes of the Irish team? Or what's the situation with that? Do you get over in sort of off season to get over and train with them, or leading up to a tournament? Do you just have to put club hockey on hold and come back and train? What do you have to
Yeah,
do?
it varies each year depending on what
Okay.
tournaments are coming up. So, for example, at the moment, we don't have anything to go back for. We're just focusing on club hockey for the moment.
Mhm.
Also depends on the budget within Irish hockey.
True.
We're not one of those nations that have a full time program, unfortunately. So we have to balance, when we can be together as a group, and we're in the pro league again, which is amazing.
Hmm.
But that also, those are expensive trips to go on. So going on those trips is fantastic. You get the match practice, but it may mean that we won't get as much time together in camps. So previously, we've flown back sometimes during the week.
Hmm.
So maybe you play a match on a Sunday with the club, then fly back Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday training, and then fly back again for club
Okay.
stuff from Thursday to Sunday. Last year, build up to the Olympics, we weren't doing that because we had the Pro League. We had
Okay.
those trips where India was 3 weeks, just over 3 weeks. Then
Hmm.
Antwerp was a week and a half. Then London as well was a week, and then we had a centralized camp with at Lille together. So it was more camp focused rather than during
Okay.
the week going back and training.
Okay. And obviously the big one there was Paris this year. What you know, first time Olympian. What was that like?
It was pretty surreal. I think the whole experience was just amazing. To be honest, it's
Yeah.
what you dream of as a kid, what you talked about your whole life. The one thing you want to do as a hockey player, and yeah, it was just amazing. I think playing in a packed stadium, close enough to home that there was a huge Irish support there. That was crazy, and the village, the atmosphere in the village was amazing. You know, rubbing shoulders with these celebrity athletes.
Yeah.
The first couple of days, it was definitely a bit of imposter syndrome. But then, yeah, you settle in and just embrace the whole environment and the whole city. It's just, yeah, you can see why people get addicted to being a part of the Olympics. If you can be an athlete
Mm.
or even be staff, you know, coach or support staff or even volunteering, you can see why people want to be a part of it and just get that addiction to it.
Absolutely, and like you said, the support from the Irish guys coming over was brilliant to see. It definitely helps that it was only in Paris and not the likes of Australia. That always is
Yeah.
good. Was that was that your biggest crowd you've played in, or was the India stadiums a wee bit bigger?
I think I think the Indian Stadium was probably a little bit bigger, truthfully.
Yeah.
I think also when you're in a stadium of nearly 20,000 Indians going crazy, the atmosphere is, I've never experienced anything like that.
Hmm.
When we were at the Pro League at the start of the year, and I think we went inside at halftime against the Dutch, or maybe sorry, it must have been against India because it was a full packed out stadium.
Hmm.
Went inside and then came out like a minute earlier than normal, not on purpose, to come back onto the pitch, and they were still doing the light show. And they're standing in the dark with all the lights, and the noise was just incredible. It was deafening, and we were kind of all looking around, like still need to focus on the second half of the match here, but this is like football territory. It was just
Yeah.
incredible. It was, I mean, I, I took some videos of the games when we went to watch. You know, obviously not when I was playing, but it doesn't do it justice when you're standing there on the pitch and you hear that noise.
Yeah.
Everyone screaming and shouting and dancing. It was just, yeah, so surreal.
Absolutely. And taking it back to the Olympics, did you spot anyone then in the village that you had to get a photo with, had to get an autograph with, or did you try and keep it very professional and cool?
Oh, really cool. Yeah. No, to be honest, there's not too many people. I'm not that kind of guy to go ask everyone for a photo, but there were a select few athletes. Andy Murray was a good one.
Hmm.
In the game, I don't know if you heard about the pin swapping.
Yes.
Yeah, so we all got the your country's pin. You can swap pins with all the different nations, which was quite a cool way to meet new athletes. And
Mm.
we'd gone and we actually had got quite a few pins, but I hadn't had a GB one. And of course, a GB pin is quite a big one of the the big nations to get a pin from. But I did say, I was like, oh well, I'll wait for Andy Murray. I'm sure Andy Murray will want my pin. And then after
Aye.
I said this, 30 seconds later, Andy Murray was cycling past, and I kind of blocked him off. Andy. So yeah, we chatting to him, really friendly. We got a photo, swap pins, and then realised that Cam Norrie, who was actually the British number one tennis player, was beside him. But we were in a little group, and I don't think any of us even recognised. So we were
Oh
all just
no.
looking at Andy. So it was only after we're thinking, geez, that was a bit embarrassing. But no, him, Noah Lyles, got a photo with
Yes.
him, and Shelly Ann Fraser Price, which was quite cool. So it was funny. I wouldn't have recognised her because she had a bucket hat on, and she was much smaller than I
Yes.
thought she'd be. And then I saw her and I was like, "Oh, sorry, can I get a photo?" And she said, "Don't be sorry, man. This is what it's all about."
Ah,
And
class.
I was like, "Wow, this is amazing." So that was cool.
Absolutely. And and it's good to see that the the results on the pitch he's had were I think brilliant, really close matches. Um some unlucky games. So it was good to see he's still having fun then off the pitch as well. Was there any of the games that you thought was the hardest compared to some of the other ones? Was there any games that surprised you on maybe how it went?
Yeah, I think looking through the games, they were all tough. Of course, you know they're all going to be
Hmm.
tough, and it was hot. It was really hot in Paris. I think we
Yes.
knew before the tournament it's going to be hot. They're talking about a heat wave months before, in advance.
Hmm.
The first two games, Belgium and Australia, were
Yeah.
super tight. that Belgian game was close, but it's just the fine details, and they were more clinical than us.
Hmm.
Then Australia was such a tight match. A lot of man to man from both teams, end to end. I don't think we've ever pushed the Aussies so close in a match
Yeah.
before. Never mind in a big tournament. Those guys were on their knees after. So were we, but it was good.
Yeah.
It was good to see that we matched them physically, although
Hmm.
unfortunately not getting the result. But the next day, we played India in 36 degrees, and
Yes.
that was tough. I think we did everything we could to try and manage being in the heat for as little time as possible. Quarter time, we could run into the shade. You got the ice packs
Mm.
on. But it was after playing the game the day before, playing against them, it was so tough. That was definitely
Yeah.
we were dead on our feet. I remember the first quarter, I start the match and you're thinking, I have no energy here. Um,
Mm.
and I think it was Manpreet at halftime was walking off. We were all walking in, and he said this game should be cancelled.
Yeah.
If one
Really?
of the Indians is saying that, then it's bloody hot. Um,
Yeah.
but
Absolutely.
it was funny watching the video back as well. In the tournament, and you see myself. I know how I'm feeling at certain moments in the game, and there's moments I don't look that tired when I'm kind of following my man. But realistically, I was thinking, please don't pass to my man because I can't move. I feel
Yeah.
like I'm running in mud. But yeah, that was definitely the standout toughest game.
Mm. And what was the likes of your after game recovery? How long did that last? So if you had a game, now there's some really late games. Say your game was that middle one. What was your rest of the day looking like? So you finished the match. Was it straight into recovery ice bath style?
Yeah. So yeah, you said there we had our fun outside of the hockey, but that was all pre-tournament. Once the tournament starts,
Hmm.
it was all full hockey focus. Once the game was done, it's just full recovery mode for the next one. We'd be straight into ice baths as soon as the game finished, back on the bus, back into recovery boots. If it was the time of day that you could have a nap, sleep for a couple of hours,
Yeah.
stay off feet. There's a lot of temptation to go walking around the village, do different things,
Hmm.
but it was try and stay off your feet, stay out of the sun as much as possible. Maybe another ice bath in the evening. Um, the
Okay.
next morning, a little bit of stretch, physio as well if you need it. Get a massage, maybe on the bike, spin the legs out a little bit. But it was, yeah, eat the right foods, recover, do everything you can to make sure that you're in the best place for the next game.
Fair enough. And was there, so you got the win last game against New Zealand. What was that feeling like? Yes, you've got through it. You've won the match. That match secured you ninth in the world, which is just unbelievable. Like I said, you said at the start, we're Hockey Ireland. It's a much smaller hockey nation, so getting that sort of accountability on that bigger stage was just fantastic.
Yeah, it was huge. I think for us to get a result and finish strong in the tournament, and also for the support we had throughout, it was incredible. It was something nice to give back there. We had we played all these teams in the build up to the Olympics and in the Pro
Mm-hmm.
League, and we had some heavy defeats. And I think to narrow the gap throughout the tournament and was so important for us, and to start climbing the rankings a little bit. It was really nice for Irish hockey, I think, as a whole. And yeah, to finish on that high against New Zealand with a win, I don't think it was the prettiest of games. I think Dave Hart and Nets had a man of the match performance. We didn't play our best, but
Yeah.
we dug deep and ground out a result, and put us into ninth in the world. Was yeah, certainly pretty special. A really good end to what had been a long 6 months since qualifying, and yeah, a lot of hard work
Mhm.
gone in. So it's good to see some reward.
Absolutely, and um, obviously you captain the team throughout. You've been captain of the Irish team for a good bit now, which is unbelievable. What did was that just then even better walking out, leading the team out at the Olympics, all that sort of thing.
Yeah, it was a really cool experience. I think I didn't think about it too much, to be honest, previously.
Hmm.
I try not to think about that. It's just, anyone can have the role, but it's, yeah, of course, it's a privilege. And it's also a dream, to be able to captain your national side is something that I also maybe thought about when I was younger. Um,
Yeah.
and to have it, being real and at Olympic Games was a true privilege. I think also you're more of a. It's not just hockey. There's Team Ireland there. You're representing
Mm.
so much more than just hockey. It was a really special moment for me. But yeah, I think I had such a great team and a lot of great leaders within the team as well that I can lean on at all times. So it's a special
Mm.
moment for us all.
Absolutely. And you mentioned about the qualifying, so that was over in Valencia, and that was another tough old tournament to get through to get that qualification.
Yeah, that was another whirlwind. Funny, we obviously as soon as the teams came out for that tournament, we knew our groups, and I think it was
Mm.
us, Belgium, and then Japan and Ukraine. And then
Yes.
the likelihood was in the other group that Spain would go through as the top, and
Mm.
then Korea would be second. And we had to be realistic, of course, playing teams like Belgium at that stage where we were. It was nearly always going to work out that it was going to be a one-off game against Korea. We had that crossover
Hmm.
against Spain, were the first chance to get the Olympic ticket, and it was a bit of a freebie. And Spain were better than us, as at that stage, they were, and
Hmm.
the best team won. But we knew it was going to be that Korea match. We did our job up until
Yeah.
then, but we'd been planning for that one match for so long, and for it to come around, there wasn't much sleep the night before, definitely not. But yeah, I think we won 4-3. It was so tight the whole game.
Yes.
Just you can see the emotions once that final whistle went. I think also after the drama of not qualifying and in Tokyo or for Tokyo
Yeah.
and how that came about. I think the Koreans had the ball in their 25 with 3 seconds to go, and we still didn't believe it was done. And I think the ball was in the air, and we were still, wait. They'd thrown an aerial, and we're thinking, please blow it up, blow it up, blow it up. It can't happen again.
Yeah.
And finally,
I know.
yeah, it was just pure elation. Um, just yeah, dream come true once you realise that you're going to be going to Olympic Games.
Absolutely. And then from when that tournament finished, how long was it then prep wise? What was your prep from, final whistle blows at Valencia, you've all calmed down until first game against Australia in Paris?
Yes, it was a pretty quick turnaround
Mm.
because we knew we were in the Pro League. We had I think it's 1 week
Yeah.
after Valencia, and then we were off to India for 3 weeks. So we had 8 matches. No, four must have been. It was must 4 matches.
Four.
But four matches in. No, I think it might have been eight. No,
You
I
play
can't
everyone
remember. But
twice?
it
I
was it was.
can't.
I can't remember. I think we played India, Spain, the Dutch, all twice, so 6 matches.
Oh, yeah.
So I think maybe 6 matches. But yeah, so straight into India block for 3 weeks,
Hmm.
which is pretty heavy
Yeah.
after, you're on that life high of qualifying for Olympic Games. And then all of a sudden you go to India for 3 weeks and you're playing against the top teams you're going to play in 6 months' time. It
Yeah.
was perfect preparation. But at the same time, we hadn't really been exposed to those teams in so long. Um, we took a few heavy defeats, and it was funny how top sport you go from such a high to a bit of a low,
Yeah.
so quickly. But it was the best thing for us. We then knew what we needed to do, and we didn't have that long. 6 months is not all the time to
Hmm.
improve as a team, but we knew we needed to get better in certain areas. We needed to get much fitter, and I think credit to us, we did. And then that Antwerp block for the Pro League, we showed it. And got a couple of nice results against Belgium.
Absolutely.
Um, and then yeah, we had the Pro League Antwerp. Then the next week went to London,
Yeah.
and then we had a week off, and then to Lille for a couple of practice matches pre Paris, and then into Paris.
Yeah. It was fairly full on then, actually.
Yeah, it was a full on, definitely a full on 6 months, but you would have it no other way. I think as soon as we really qualified and knew you're going to Olympic Games, you want to do everything you possibly can. In the next 6 months, it's your full focus is Olympics. And you don't want to get injured. You don't want to get, yeah, you just want to be in the best possible shape you could possibly be.
Absolutely. Last Olympic question, because I know that there's been loads. Where you getting your Olympic rings?
Yeah, so
Where's the tattoo going?
uh, I think I've finally decided I'll get it on my shoulder. I will
Nice.
get it. Yeah, I was wondering where I'd get one. If I was always certain I will get one when I build up the courage to do so. But I wasn't sure exactly where on my body. But I did always say before I think the first Olympic tattoo I ever saw was on tour to Rotterdam when I was 13, and I saw Mark Knowles, and he had it on his shoulder there.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, okay, if I go to the Olympics, I will. I'll get that tattoo. Um, Although I did draw it on, and I do have that pasty white Irish skin, so it doesn't look as amazing. But yeah, I think I'll go for it there.
Oh, good. Absolutely. So going away from the Olympics, you played in the World Cup. Now the World Cup was out in India as well. What was that experience like? Because that's a completely different tournament.
Yeah, very very different. In India, the best place in the world to play hockey. It
Mm,
was the first major tournament that I'd been to. Also incredible, incredible. Very different atmosphere. Being in India for 3 weeks, first time I'd been in India for 3 weeks,
yeah.
and uh, unfortunately we didn't have the best results, but the
Mhm.
overall experience was incredible. I think in the hockey, playing in the biggest stadium of hockey I'd ever seen at that stage,
Yeah.
being in India itself as well with the food, the culture, seeing the people, it was yeah, really an incredible experience, and hopefully we'll get to the next one so we can do it again.
Absolutely. That was going to be one of my last questions. So obviously 4 years for LA and another 2 years for the next World Cup,
Yeah,
isn't it? It's a silly question to ask. You're obviously aiming for those. You're going to be there.
yeah. Fingers crossed. Definitely.
Good.
Now, as I said, I can see why people get that addiction to wanting to go again, and yeah, the World Cup would be it's pretty special to go to another World Cup and to get to another Olympic
Mhm.
Games. Yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed. We keep on that upward trajectory, keep improving, and qualify again, and then maybe go one step further.
Absolutely. This is legally binding. So you now as a player have to be at both of those tournaments.
Perfect. Tell the coach that. Yeah.
Absolutely. I will speak to him the next time he's in. um, so the big question, Valencia, you get the win to head to Paris. Is that a sweeter victory than a Bernie or McCullough Cup win?
Oh, I don't know. For the people listening that know about the Burnley and McCullough Cup, whoa, uh, no, I think I was lucky enough to win the well both actually, but the that first Burnley that we won, I did score a drag scoop
Oh, nice.
last play to level the game and go to strokes, and we won the strokes. That was a pretty special win. But no, the Valencia win was a lifelong dream. Yeah, kind of becoming real
Mm,
with the support over in Valencia. It's yeah, your life's work all built for one tournament and one game. It's talked about that
yeah,
Korea game, and I envisioned it for so long in advance to finally come out the other side
yeah.
with a positive result. It was yeah, I can't describe that feeling. I may never get that again.
Absolutely. Well, we hope you do get that feeling again the next time you qualify.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah.
Um, yeah, for equally for the non Irish and Ulster people that are watching, the Bernie and the McCullough Cup are two competitions for secondary school hockey teams, and there's in boys hockey over here. There's so few. There's not a lot of schools that do boys hockey, so it's quite a close knit group of boys that play hockey, and you all sort of know each other. So the rivalry between the what 12 schools that maybe play it is incredibly high. So getting the win against the other schools in those two tournaments is quite special if you do play in them. So the fact that you've picked Valencia is probably hurting a lot of Wallace boys' hearts.
It's lifetime bragging rights still, though.
Absolutely, that's true. Right, the last question I've asked everybody, and it determines again respect levels, how this episode ends, or how even if it goes out, is this question: before training or before a match, how do you put your socks and shoes on? Do you go sock shoe, or sock shoe shoe?
Oh, sock, shoe. Of course.
Good.
Want to know the
Yeah.
want the list of people that don't do that? Cut them.
You'd be surprised.
We cut them out of the
We've just had to
podcast.
cut them out.
Yeah.
We're just gone. No, we can't do this.
Can't
Yeah,
air that.
it's been horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I keep going back. There's a couple of people since, but Maddie Hinch said I think she'd be personally offended if she looked across a change room and there was someone with a full sock and shoe on and a bare foot.
Yeah. Can't be doing that. Can't be doing that.
No, absolutely not. So this will go out. You've done it. Well done.
Yeah.
But Sean, look, thank you very much for joining us on this. I really do appreciate it. I'll give you a bit of time now if you want to plug anything, plug what you're using, what you're anything coming up, anything that you fancy.
Oh, under pressure. No, to be honest, no. Thank you very
I
much.
know.
Thank you for having me on. Looking forward to getting back to Northern Ireland and getting into the shop and seeing the new upgrades. Yeah, but thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
It's been a pleasure.
And it's no problem at all. Thanks for taking out of your very busy professional schedule to chat to us. And look, guys, if there's any point in this conversation that you've liked, let us know in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching. If you don't want to watch my face, which is fully understandable, there is the episode up on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. Thank you very much for watching. Sean, thank you very much for joining us.
Cheers. Thank you.